Is Netanyahu now urgently pushing the IDF to find breakthrough solutions against relentless rocket and drone threats? As Hezbollah drones reportedly wound Israeli soldiers, is pressure mounting on Bibi to deliver quick results on the battlefield? With statements like "I expect solutions," is Netanyahu demanding decisive action to dismantle Hezbollah's remaining capabilities? As the Israeli military orders evacuations in border villages, is the situation on the ground becoming increasingly volatile? With Hezbollah issuing fresh warnings even as Israel holds positions in southern Lebanon, is a wider escalation looming? And with estimates suggesting thousands of rockets still in Hezbollah's arsenal, is the IDF preparing for another intense phase of strikes? As thick plumes of smoke rose over Lebanon's skyline, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a significant statement on the ongoing conflict. The Israeli leader asserted that the campaign against Iran-backed group Hezbollah is still ongoing and far from reaching completion. On April 27, Netanyahu praised IDF commanders for what he described as major operational successes achieved in Lebanon. At the same time, he acknowledged that Hezbollah's continued use of rockets and drones remains a persistent challenge. Netanyahu specifically pointed to the ongoing threat posed by 122mm rockets along with unmanned aerial systems from Lebanese territory. Despite these concerns, the Prime Minister claimed that Israeli forces have significantly degraded Hezbollah's rocket capabilities. In Lebanon, there have been great achievements. The elimination of the rocket array that threatened the entire country, the creation of a security zone that prevents the possibility of an invasion into the north of the country, and now also prevents the firing of direct anti-tank missiles, but also allows us to change the situation in Lebanon. We are attacking as we are now, both in the security zone, also north of the security zone, also north of the Litani. Our freedom of action to thwart threats, immediate threats and emerging threats, this is the agreement we made with the US and also with the Lebanese government. I don't delude myself that this will come easily. I don't think so either. I say this honestly, the work is not done. There are still two major threats from Lebanon, from Hezbollah, the threat of the 122mm rockets, the threat of the drones and UAVs. This requires a combination of operational activity and technological activity. The Minister of Defense and the Chief of Staff know this well. We are making a very large technological effort to solve these problems. And if we solve them by combining operational and technological efforts, we are actually on the way to disarming Hezbollah, because this is the main weapon they have. This is what they have left. It has about 10% of the missiles it had at the beginning of the war, but these still bother the residents of the north, and I really appreciate their resilience, their steadfastness. But we have two tasks left, and what I expect from you is to solve these two problems, because I think we can solve the political side, if we solve that. Independent estimates cited by Israeli army radio suggest Hezbollah may still retain thousands of rockets despite losses. These developments come even as Israel continues to carry out airstrikes across southern Lebanon. On April 27, Israeli air operations reportedly resulted in fresh plumes of smoke rising over multiple locations in the region. The strikes were described as retaliatory action following recent drone and rocket attacks attributed to Hezbollah. The Israeli military also released video footage claiming the destruction of Hezbollah-linked infrastructure during these operations. Even though the ceasefire technically holds on paper, drones and strikes keep igniting flashpoints along the Israel-Lebanon frontier. On April 24, air raid sirens sounded in western Galilee border communities, warning residents of a suspected incoming drone attack from Lebanon. The IDF later said it had intercepted a Hezbollah drone before it managed to cross into Israeli airspace, preventing a direct hit on Israeli territory. A second drone was picked up on radar over southern Lebanon, but the army says contact was lost midway through its flight path. The military assessed that this unmanned aircraft probably crashed near areas where IDF troops are currently deployed, heightening tension on the ground. Hours after the first alerts, fresh sirens went off in the Galilee Panhandle over what was initially believed to be another hostile drone. The IDF later clarified that this second incident was a false alarm, saying the suspicious object was determined to be a false identification. Hezbollah has reportedly launched explosive-laden drones at IDF units stationed in southern Lebanon, testing Israeli positions despite the truce. Those drones are said to have detonated near Israeli forces around the village of Kantara, with no casualties reported but plenty of alarm. The IDF accused Hezbollah of blatantly violating the ceasefire through these attacks, calling them a serious breach of the current understandings. Earlier in the day, Israeli troops struck surveillance equipment at what they described as a Hezbollah rocket launch site near the town of Kunin. The army said the gear posed a direct threat to its forces operating nearby, justifying the strike as a protective measure. Israel argues that these hits are defensive moves within what it now calls a security buffer zone in southern Lebanon, not offensive escalations. At the same time, Lebanese media claimed that an Israeli drone had been shot down near the coastal city of Tyre. Footage from the area appeared to show an anti-aircraft missile streaking into the sky and striking an unmanned aircraft overhead. The IDF later confirmed that one of its drones had indeed been hit by a Hezbollah surface-to-air missile over Tyre, calling the incident a serious escalation. The military said the downing of the unmanned aerial vehicle is now under formal investigation, with lessons to be applied to future missions. Meanwhile, IDF orders went out for residents of Deir Oms in southern Lebanon to evacuate following fresh rocket fire from the area, deepening the sense of instability. Despite these tensions, Trump says the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire has been extended by 3 more weeks as of April 23rd. He hosted the Israeli and Lebanese ambassadors at the White House for a new round of mediation talks aimed at shoring up the fragile deal. Trump later told reporters the meeting went very well, and promised that the U.S. would help Lebanon deal with Hezbollah's influence and rocket threat. He also signaled plans to soon host both Benjamin Netanyahu and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, aiming to bring the two leaders under one diplomatic roof for the first time in decades.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.